Ladies and gentlemen and Force users of all ages, welcome back to Inside the Tauntaun, a Star Wars podcast where we get to the guts of what makes Star Wars meaningful to us. I'm Daniel Dawson, and I'm joined by my dear friends and fellow Nerf herders, Alyssa Simmons.
Greetings, everybody.
And Dino Nicandros.
Salutations.
This week, we are discussing The Bad Batch. This is Episode 7, Battle Scars, created by our Lord and Savior, Dave Filoni, and directed by Sal Ruiz, and written by Jennifer Corbett. And by God, we're Star Wars fans. Something, Dawson.
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Star Wars Inside the Tauntaun. This is our podcast opening song. Alyssa, Daniel, and Dino talking about Star Wars. Like and subscribe.
Lord knows my dogs have made it onto this podcast all throughout last summer.
It's just the way it is now.
My dogs, they made it on here too. I don't have any dogs.
No, you have no dogs or friends.
Nope, you're right. I just have this.
I'm just a man in a closet.
You just have the,
What was it that you played during the intro? I couldn't hear it.
We can barely hear it, but what is that, the Mannheim scream? The
Oh,
Mannheim yell?
the Manhattan transfer stream? No, it's the Wilhelm scream.
Wilhelm.
Yeah, Wilhelm.
Mannheim. Wilhelm.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. That is a very, very famous scream.
Yes, I always forget the name. Wilhelm or Mannheim, it doesn't matter.
If you've watched any Star Wars film, or really most...
Any film since like the 1950s.
Pretty much.
Like. Yeah.
Any action film where somebody is falling, you will have heard...
Well, wasn't it officially retired recently?
Oh,
I thought I read that somewhere. Yeah, they retired it.
Oh my God.
I'll have to look that up and do a follow-up, but I feel like it officially got its... Okay. Nobody screams like that.
That's enough.
Nobody actually screams like... Well, also because it's just like, it's such an iconic scream now that like...
So great.
Now it feels like it's a joke. When you put it in, it's
Right.
just like, oh, that's a fun little Easter egg.
It will absolutely be in Indy 5 somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
We'll definitely keep it alive.
They'll bring it out of retirement.
Right.
Also, did the podcast start? Are we talking? Is this happening?
We are talking.
We are talking.
Oh my
and,
God. Wow. Here we
this
are
is all
inside
public
the
record
Tauntaun.
now.
We're talking about the Wilhelm scream. Screw the Bad
That's
Batch.
That's it. So thanks for joining us. And
Wow, what a fun time we just had. Isn't that great? You guys,
Yeah.
Rex is here!
Rex
Pew, pew,
is
pew, pew.
back.
We've been waiting for him.
I mean, it was only a matter of time. And the time was
you
now.
know what?
Episode 7.
They gave him I got heavy Fellowship of the Ring vibes.
Totally.
When
Oh
we
my God, I'm
see
so glad
him
you said that.
In the cantina.
Yeah.
It was Strider.
Yeah.
Rex is Strider, and he's sitting in the corner with his hood. And
Mm-hmm.
And we got our answer
Mr.
on
Underhill.
who Trace and Rafa were
Mhm.
communicating with. So that
Yes.
was definitely a misdirect. We all went on a little journey.
And
there.
thank goodness we now know that at least consciously they're not participating in any like nefarious stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is
they're
very good
definitely
news.
on the good side, it seems.
I mean, unless we find out that Rex is like goes through a whole slew of bad times, but that's doubtful.
He's been through enough.
He's been through enough,
Mhm.
poor
He's been-
guy.
Good Lord.
And he's fighting for the Republic, even though the Republic is totally dead. Poor guy.
I know that was an interesting perspective hearing it out loud that he's still fighting for the Republic.
Yeah, even though he knows it's like a
It's
done deal.
long dead.
Like, yeah. But he's fighting for what he thinks is right.
And it's safe to call Rex, we already knew this, but it's safe to call Rex one of the forefathers of the rebellion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were 4 of
And
them.
he
is one of the
He is
4.
the poster child of rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
The rebellion. How cool is that?
Quite.
Quite cool. Quite cool indeed. We also
Coolest.
witnessed the end of Wrecker's headache journey. It is finally
It came
coming.
to a head.
Oh,
Join us next week.
oh my gosh. Oh yeah, when he fell at the beginning of the episode, I was like, "Oh my
no.
gosh,
We can't do
we
this.
can't do this any longer. It's got to be now. It's got to be
It's gotta
now."
happen.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
thank God it did.
yeah, it was that because I was like, oh, are they gonna go really another episode? I guess they are. Damn.
Yeah. And the results weren't that catastrophic, thankfully.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It could have been a lot worse, but they're
it was
really
bad.
trying.
Don't get me wrong, it was bad. But
Oh
got
yeah, I
dicey.
mean, people were in danger. I mean, like poor little Ormiga, like
oh
almost
yeah, he
definitely.
almost
got-
killed her.
Yeah, he
Hella
was gonna
killed.
lay hands on her, and I was like, oh no, sir.
It got really spooky there for a second.
Yeah.
But like, well, first of all, let's talk about I mean, the beginning, like, it seemed like there was a passage of time, like, I don't know how long, maybe a week or maybe even just a couple of days, but it seems like they've done a few more jobs for Sid. And so yeah, they're trying to earn some money, making up for their mistake.
And accruing quite the debt,
Yeah, apparently. And
thanks to Wrecker and Omega.
Because Wrecker and
Their little
Armiga keep
tradition.
having like
The
a
Mantel mix, what is that? It looks like popcorn.
it
looks like
was.
caramelized popcorn.
It looked like this. It looked like the thing in Galaxy's Edge.
100%. I mean, like, they're doing a
Those
very
bastards,
good job
that's-
with their marketing.
yes.
Yeah, they're absolutely
Watch for Mantel mix in the next few months.
100%.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what they called it in Galaxy's Edge, but it looked exactly like that. That
Yeah.
colorful
They're-
kettle
they're
corn.
Caramelized popcorn.
Oh gosh, what do they call it? It's
Is it No, not that. I was thinking
The
of the Ronto
wrap. Let me look it up.
I don't think that they use corn in the. It's like something grains, right? Is that they use grain in the title?
I'm
Alyssa
looking
will
it up.
find it.
I'm looking it up.
Well, they end up now that they found Rex, Strider.
Strider.
He leads them to a Jedi Fallen Order locale. I don't know if y'all noticed that. But
Well, can we rewind because I thought it was going to go down when Rex pulls the gun when he finds out
Yeah.
they hadn't removed their chips.
he's like, "You what?"
And he's like,
I trust zero people at this point, which smart on him because it's what's kept him alive as long as it has.
right.
But yeah, he was ready to blow.
That was a tough moment for him.
Yeah,
and,
wowzers. But
I have the
thankfully they
answer
were
on the
able to-
popcorn.
Oh, you did.
Okay, what is it?
There's two different kinds. One's called Galaxy Grain,
There it is. The grains.
and then there's another one called Outpost Mix.
adorable.
What's the difference?
The Galaxy Grain is the regular looking one, and the Outpost Mix is the one that's like lemon pound cake and chili. So all the
Oh,
different
I don't know
like
if I've had that one. I've had the normal one that kind of tastes like
Wait,
Fruit
lemon
Loops.
pound cake
Yeah.
and chili?
yeah, the sweet one. The sweet one is like a sweet and spicy situation.
I can get into that. Oh gosh, remember when we tested that out like backstage at like when we were and it was like really stale.
Yeah, they let us try some stale popcorn before
They're like, hey,
before the
this
land
is-
opened.
This
The,
has
the
gone bad. You
prototype
can have it
batch
for
from
free if you want.
2018.
It's
Everyone's
disgusting.
all,
This expired in February 2018.
Just great. Thanks, Disney, for your free shit. So we end up going to Braca, which is where they went in Jedi Fallen Order, which I love. I think that we're like,
yeah, it's where we find Cal Kestis
Yes.
working at the beginning of the game.
Yes.
It's a scrapping yard that disassembles old Republic and Confederacy vessels, war
right.
vessels.
It's basically like a graveyard for old ships. And has it been confirmed whether or not Cal would have been there already? I mean, I guess because how
No.
soon after the Order 66 did he just?
It was 5 years was
mm.
about 5 years from this point is when we see Cal there. So I don't know.
Got
I
it.
don't remember how long Cal had been there, but Fallen Order takes place about 5 years after. The
Right. I'm
purge.
just I wonder how long he was in hiding before he got a job on Baraka, but just a really cool. They're really, really, really doing a great job so far at like, synergy. That's it. Yeah, they're
Story synergy.
They're drawing all of those, connecting all those dots and dotting the. Yeah, it's very good, very good. Yeah. Oh, and we also saw Wrecker getting attacked by a creature that I think is kind of like the trash compactor monster? Question mark? Yeah.
The Dianoga. I wondered about that because the only time we've really seen, well, I don't want to say the only time because I can't think through the entire Star Wars canon, but I remember seeing the Dianoga in like its full form in the video game of Shadows of the Empire.
Oh, dope.
Because it was the scariest level in a video game I can recall. I would always have to have either my sister or my dad in the room when I played it because it was just the worst.
It's adorable.
But yeah, no, I think you might be onto something, Daniel, because they are like garbage munchers.
Yeah, like if it's not the same one, maybe they're in the same family,
Right.
Sure.
Same family of creature.
I have a Wikipedia open.
Oh,
we didn't see like the traditional like long neck and eye.
True.
But the tentacles made me think like,
yeah, like
maybe.
it could be a very similar.
There's like a Sarlacc Dianoga crossover.
Yeah.
Dianoga.
So
If
the
they made
appearances of the Dianoga, we've got Recipe for Death from Tales from a Galaxy Far, Far Away.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars Battlefront 2,
Sure.
Jedi of the Republic, Bad Batch, as we know now.
Oh my god.
Fallen Order.
Okay.
Mentioned.
so it is
It's just
confirmed.
mentioned.
Confirmed
only.
then.
It's mentioned.
It was
only.
it was confirmed as a Bad Batch.
Yeah.
So so it is one.
Well, yeah, and in Jedi Fallen Order, like that's what Cal saves his friend from. Like isn't he like falling into one of those monsters, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. It's like it's
a little bit of a
been-
spoiler, but it's at the beginning of the game, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, and it's the Dianoga is mentioned in Galaxy's Edge actually while we're in Doc Odnar's Den of Antiques.
Oh right, yeah. So this is interesting because I had not really hadn't even crossed my mind until we got the Jedi Fallen Order like crossover moment here. But is it possible that this show might dip its toes into the origins of the Inquisitors?
Possibly.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be actually
Yes.
really dope.
I would bet on it.
Because once we're done dealing with the inhibitor chip problem, because that seems to be like the ultimate baddie of the show so far. Is the inhibitor chip that's inside the Bad Batch, and now it's not a problem with them, but specifically with Crosshair. I mean, once that is dealt with, then who will be like the next like big antagonist for the show?
The Inquisitorius.
Would be interesting. Would be interesting. And those people that were those like special ops people that they got, I mean, like who knows if those people could be like they're being like this is their auditions for the Inquisitors or something. I don't know.
Well, and I'm thinking about like the second half of this series, and knowing that many of the Inquisitors are Jedi that were taken and
Right.
Yeah.
brainwashed.
Sure.
That could very well be a storyline going forward. Like that could very well intersect with what the Bad Batch is up to, and if Omega is Force sensitive, there could be interest on the Empire's part when they figure out kind of who and what she is to capture her for that purpose. So that's something to keep an eye on. That's a very good point, Daniel.
Wowie wowiesies. Wow. Yeah, what else? Yeah, so we've got confirmed that it was Rex, that the Martez sisters were talking to. But like actually, I'm kind of fast forwarding now, but at the end of the episode Rex is talking to somebody else. Do you feel like he was talking to the Martez sisters again? I mean, I guess that'd probably be the most likely, but do you think he was I mean, there's a number of people he could be talking to. He could be talking to Ahsoka too, I guess. Because they're still, assumedly, they're still kind of like hanging out, maybe? Or do you think that Ahsoka is like?
I don't think they see each other again until Rebels.
Oh, really? Okay.
If I've got my timeline correct,
You
and
would
this is
know
just
better
going,
than me.
Well, but I'm just saying that offhand and without having looked it up. But I think the next time they see each other is
At
when
least
they're
with
all
what
kind
we
of
know
reunited.
so far.
Right. It could be now if somebody wants to go down the Bail Organa route,
Sure.
and we haven't really seen Rex and Bail interact, so I don't know if that relationship exists, but they're both founders of a rebellion, so
Yeah.
Could be.
So
Is
maybe,
Rex
but-
kind of like? Do you think that Rex is sort of leading this faction?
yeah, whatever the faction, whatever that faction is.
Yeah.
I wonder if it could be who are the guys he hangs out with? Wolf and
Oh gosh.
who's the other guy?
Yeah, Wolf and
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, same. They're in Rebels.
Gregor.
Gregor.
So I don't remember when he hooks up with Wolf and Gregor, but
Gregor.
by the time of Rebels, they're all hiding out together.
Mm-hmm.
So we could have an opportunity for a reunion with those three in this series.
That would be cool. I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, going back, Rex has specifically brought them to this graveyard to remove those chips, because he knows of a med bay that at least works well enough to perform the procedure, which I'm like I find so kind of completely ridiculous, because like those ships are so completely destroyed. It's like, oh wow, how convenient. But it's great. They get in there and they as they're performing, they're about to perform it on Wrecker, and he obviously right at the last second. We totally said this. It was like it's gonna be right at the last second that they're gonna need to do it, and it happened. I think we can give ourselves a little pat on the back for knowing what the hell is gonna happen. But yeah, actually this fight scene really kind of just showed how formidable Wrecker is, because like
he's not the one you want brainwashed.
No,
I don't think.
Yeah, because he's
He's just a brute.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
he's obviously the strongest out of all of them, but like, is he this potentially the scariest one of them? Like, if he was like on the wrong side, like, would he be like?
I still think Crosshair is.
Crosshair's the worst.
I mean, we have recency bias because we've seen what he can do.
Yeah, right.
But bad attitude, really good with a gun from a distance. It's like I don't know if I want to.
Yeah,
mess with him.
No.
All of them would be awful.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
There's a reason the Empire was planning on keeping them around, because they're just very, very good at what they do.
But yeah, Wrecker like basically takes on almost all of the other Bad Batch and almost succeeds. Well, it kind of does, really. I mean, if it weren't for and this can be argued, because like I watched at least this one part like a couple of times, because I like it was very subtle, but it kind of felt like he was trying to hold back. Like he didn't say it, but he was kind of like he was slowing down his words as he was like about to shoot our Omega.
Yeah,
well,
he
says
admitted
it
that
to
to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, I was trying to stop.
I tried to control it.
stop.
I tried as hard as I could.
Yeah.
And
That was such a sweet moment too.
It
Yeah.
was so sweet.
She just touches his face and is like, I know you tried. Like,
well, and because Wrecker is, I want to be gentle with the word. He's a little more simple than the others,
right,
in terms of intellect and
sure.
But to put it in his own words and to be able to apologize, which is probably not something he does fairly often, considering he's the brawn of the group. And as you said, Elizabeth, it was just very, very sweet. And you kind of see Wrecker maturing a little bit and growing up.
Yeah,
is,
I really
nice to
do appreciate the amount of time that they've put into the relationship building of these characters because
Yeah.
like at this point now that we're episode 7, like I really do care about their relationships with each other, and especially Little Wrecker and Armiga. Like their little like their cute little thing that they got going on is very adorable.
And I loved Hunter's like response to like Wrecker being like, "I do it for the kid," like the little tradition that they
Yeah,
have
he's
with
like,
the
"Oh,
popcorn.
right,
And he was
sure."
like, "Yeah, you do it for her."
Right.
Yeah, because they're both like kind of the same age, like mentally, maybe.
Innocence wise, yeah, for sure.
a little
I
bit,
think,
yeah.
Like that sort of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would, I actually would say that Armiga is probably a little more advanced as far as that, the
But I
brain
love how they
department
have
goes.
like she pulls some of the Mantel mix out of her pocket and hands it to
Oh.
him, and I love that they have a ritual
Yeah.
after completing missions. And
I mean, even if it is Disney trying to sell us some merch, I'm still okay with
Exactly
it. 'Cause
what
it was
it is.
very
Yeah,
adorable.
sure.
It was very, very,
Well,
very
you know,
sweet.
everybody that has either been to Galaxy's Edge or is like planning on it is, the second they see that popcorn, it's gonna be like,
Oh my God! Remember? I remember.
yeah, they've got to
Um,
rebrand it. They've got to call it Mantel Mix now.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
or at least
Yep.
have another flavor for sure.
Yeah.
there's no choice.
There's no choice. There's just no choice. But yeah, they got that sucker out of his head, and now his headache journey is done. Allegedly. I mean, we'll see. Who knows? Maybe he'll.
Well, yeah, they're all free from.
I also really like. I mean, like I love that Omega was like really worried about it. Like she
Mhm.
thought that like. There was like a real danger of doing the procedure, and like she was like, I don't know if it's worth it because I don't want to lose you, kind of thinking that they were gonna die from it.
Yeah, she had a very real moment of when she was talking to Hunter and Rex about how if they were to, not make it, she would be all
She'd be
alone
alone.
again.
Yeah.
And yeah,
very,
we
very-
we forget because she is so like with her force
Mhm.
sensitivity and with how quickly she picks things up. Like she's still a little kid.
Right.
Like she's still a little kid, and that's usually the real fear with
Yeah.
with little kids is being
Being alone.
alone, being left behind, and not having anybody to take care of you.
Well, she already doesn't really have parents per se, so like, and that's kind of like what Disney usually does is they remove the parents, but like she was like born kind of without parents, so like they're creating a family for her to potentially lose.
Right.
Which is
Right.
very
Bunch of
smart.
jerks.
Bunch of jerks, Disney. Gosh darn it. Oh, she did do another kind of,
Forcey
thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, at the beginning of the episode where she was like, she like knew that Rex was like a first generation. I mean, I guess
right.
you could argue that like because she did say, she's like, oh, it's from the wrinkles on your face. I mean, she's just knows clones better than most people would, but also she's just got this intuition that's just so far and beyond.
Right. I think it's equal parts her intuition, but also she did spend time as a medical aide.
Right.
In Kabita, so I mean, she would have seen.
She knows those
All the
clones,
different
like, backwards and
generations.
But that's the
forwards.
first time. That's the first time we've
She's
heard
probably
reference.
seen him naked.
Probably not. I can't imagine she has. Thank you.
You ever
Dana.
seen a grown man naked?
Jesus.
Ever flown a plane before? Ever seen a grown man naked? Train of thought dead. Thank you.
Sorry. Sorry about it.
No, it's back. It's back.
Welcome back.
That's the first time we've heard clones referenced by generation.
Right.
formally.
Right.
And I mean, all first generation means is precisely that. These were the first clones to see action.
The
so,
first batch.
the first batch.
Not the bad batch. The first batch. So what is Joey? Well, yeah, do we know what generation the Bad Batch are? Are they a newer generation? Are they like the newest generation? or-
Yeah, I'm not sure what.
Yeah.
I don't think they're in the initial one.
They're definitely not the first generation.
No.
Mm-mm.
Because I feel like they made that distinction.
Because we
that
see
Rex
them
is
so
like,
late in the Clone Wars too that, which partially that's because the idea of them was thought up in later Clone Wars seasons. That's
Yeah.
just a writing thing. But I think they are a later group
Yeah.
and a deformed one at that.
Gosh.
the Scrapper Guild.
Yeah, Scrapper Guild.
these
little-
They're,
we got
these little
they're
jerks.
little tattletales, apparently. I'm wondering, God, I mean, do we see a live-action Cal Kestis? I mean,
It's not if, but when. I
Kinda,
think, at
right?
this point. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure, like, if he's... I mean, we could easily see a cartoon Cal Kestis in this show. Easily. I don't know...
He'd be pretty young, though, right? Because
Huh?
in Fallen Order, he's like, late teens, early 20s.
Right.
Yeah, he'd be.
So he'd be teenage. I mean, he'd be like a preteen teenager.
Yeah,
if
and
we
think about
if we
it
were
this
to see
way,
him in this.
like, whoa. Yeah, like Cal and Armiga meet. You know what I mean? And then they have like this little Jedi moment. Whoa.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I don't think it happens because
Probably not.
Cal, after his master is cut down and he is left alone, he does not publicly or really privately talk about his Force abilities.
Yeah, that'd be really risky to do, especially on that
I
planet.
mean, yeah, he says it like he doesn't.
Like, we don't talk about it.
Is keep it on lockdown, and when he reaches out to save his Scrapper buddy from falling, and he uses the Force, that's the first time he's used it.
And he immediately gets caught, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they know.
Yes,
like that.
immediately. You're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Ah.
Yeah.
They're watching everybody real close.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of the Inquisitors, and this is diverging from Bad Batch a little bit, but because Andor, Kenobi, because both of those are taking place, call it this general era between 3 and 4, Rise of the Empire era, I absolutely think we will see live action Inquisitors in
Oh,
Andor.
I can't
That would be
wait.
Kenobi.
dope.
Because they're so cool. They're so
really
cool.
they're almost more terrifying. I mean, I don't know. They have the potential to be more terrifying than like Darth Vader in some ways. Yeah, usually because there's more of them, and I don't know.
If we see them in live action, that's going to be pretty sick. And bonus points if they cast Jason Isaacs again to be Grand Inquisitor in a live action.
Ooh,
Twould
No,
be
he's
live
cool.
action
scary.
series.
He is scary.
I'm down.
I'm yeah. The wheels are turning. I'm excited for that possibility.
Yeah. I honestly, it completely escaped my mind until this episode. I was like, oh
And
my
we're
god,
like,
the
oh,
Inquisitors.
they're probably coming
They're-
to be around this time.
Totally.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I mean, as far as like, little plot points and stuff in this episode, there wasn't like a huge amount going on. We we had the one mission, which was to remove the chips. Slight hiccups, but they made it work. They got him out, and now Rex, they basically kind of, the little goodbye was just like, if you need me, call me. And then he sort of disappeared into the mist. So I don't know if we'll see him again this season, but if we do, it's probably not going to be until like the end
Very
or
end.
something maybe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't mind them using these characters sparingly now.
same.
We've talked about them, talked about wanting them to broaden the universe
Yeah.
and letting them interact with each other on occasion, but you want to make the galaxy feel big.
Yeah.
And you continue to shrink it every time you introduce a Luke Skywalker at
Right.
the end of Mandalorian. If you introduce Rex too often, even Darth Maul, if you overexpose him,
Right. Because he could have,
and he
could have
knows all of
easily
these
been,
different
like,
people. It's
shown
like,
as-
okay, well, let's maybe indicate that they're around, but they don't always need to be around. if
Yeah,
that makes sense.
easily with like a line or you could even be from a background person.
I mean, right? I think Vader is the poster child for that kind of line of thinking. The less
Totally.
you see of him, the better.
totally.
Because when he does show up, it's like, oh,
Ooh,
this moment, this event warranted his presence.
right.
Which is like, yikes.
That's heavy. Right. Yeah. It's well, and it's funny because in the movies and stuff, like a lot of times the people are like, "Oh, Lord Vader, I didn't think you were gonna be here." You're like, "Oh
I
God."
think he only has like 15 or 20 minutes of screen time in the whole trilogy.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. Right.
Easily.
Right.
Probably less.
Right.
But it's like, it's effective.
Yeah. It's like when they send
obviously.
Lord Vader, like apparently they mean business. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say
Um,
that's what's been really nice about like I'm reading the current run of Dr. Aphra,
Oh yeah.
and she makes mention of Vader because she has run-ins with him in the first run from 2016.
Yep.
But all of the characters are completely new,
Brand new.
completely unknown to me.
And gay.
It is a very gay comic, yeah.
Happy Pride, everybody. Happy
um,
Pride.
But yeah, that's just it's really fun to like, just like you said, like, you know, broaden the galaxy and
Yep.
have all these different voices and personalities.
And also just not to upstage, because, like, you know,
Mhm.
this is called The Bad Batch. It's about The Bad Batch. Like, you don't need to, like, take anything away from them. Like, let them have their moment.
And the
Yeah.
few characters that we know from other shows that have made little cameos, like, they've been so well done.
Yeah.
And it's like exciting to see them, and then you're moving on, you know?
Yeah.
Right, Kanan's quick. Little
Totally.
interaction with them. I mean, that's all great.
The 45-year-old preteen.
Right.
I know why they made that choice, but I don't like it. That's honestly the only thing that I have not liked about this show so far. I was like, you could get a young sounding Freddie Prinze Jr.
For sure.
person. There
Yeah.
are so many voice actors. Like,
And
I
we
understand
would've-
it's cool to have him do it, but I don't know.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But I think that, yeah, definitely people, they would have bought it. And, like, because we already, they say his name, like, out loud. So, like, it
Mhm.
would have been easy for everybody to be like, oh, yeah, I know who they're talking about. You know?
Right.
At least all the nerds.
But I got over it. I got over it quickly.
It doesn't sound like you've gotten over it, and I hope you are able to sleep.
You know, I
I
gotta
hope-
talk about it in probably one more therapy session, and then
I hope
So
you're able
bad.
to rest, Alyssa.
Fucking pissed.
You and the Last Jedi haters. I hope all of you are able
Uh.
to just sleep. Okay.
Oh my gosh. In the scheme of things, it's so not a big deal at all. But just as a person who,
Just don't want to kill myself. That's all.
yeah, I just want to jump out of a window. Other than that, I'm doing well.
I mean, can you believe Kathleen Kennedy's involved with Indiana Jones 5? Can you believe that?
Oh
The
my
nerve-
God.
The nerve of that woman to
The
produce the fifth one after
nerve.
producing the first four.
She has no idea what she's doing. Okay.
I hope she's nervous.
like I get it. There's a difference between Kathleen Kennedy now and then.
Mm.
All right, she sold out. She's sold out, and she and her husband Frank Marshall both sold out, and this is disgusting.
Right.
All of it.
There you go. You heard it here, everybody.
That's right.
They're trying to sell us the Mantel mix, guys. That's all this is.
This is literally the entire show was meant for this one moment, just to sell us popcorn. That was it.
They're like, you know, we really gotta produce something that's gonna sell more food in Galaxy's Edge because nobody's
Right.
buying it.
Right. Well,
Nobody's buying this popcorn. How do we do it? Let's produce $1 million
That'll help.
cartoon.
yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Well, I do think we're at the point in Bad Batch where we've seen all of the footage that was in the trailers.
Sure.
So I think we have now reached the point where we have no idea
Yeah, where are
where
they
it's
headed?
going.
And they're yeah, it seems like the show has like thoroughly gotten its feet wet now, and
Yeah.
like roots
How many
are planted.
episodes? 13? Did we say 13?
I think you said 13. I think.
All right, so we've got 5 more.
I think we're at the halfway point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel at least halfway. And like I thoroughly care about the characters. The fear of their chips are gone, so I'm curious, like, you know, what they're.
There's 16 episodes. Sorry,
16.
So
Oh,
we're
whoa,
going to be at
wee.
halfway
Next
next week
Cool.
So yeah, it's
Oh dang.
or this week.
it's there's I mean, you know, that means there's 70 more to go, right? So that's math. But like
Very
it does
good.
that sounds like there's like plenty of time, at least without how fast they are moving the plot along. It sounds like there's enough time for them to deal with Crosshair and who knows what else, maybe, you know?
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I mean, I guess I can imagine, but just with how fast their things are moving along, it feels like they're probably going to come back to this planet, maybe with Crosshair, and hopefully Crosshair has a way to redeem himself. Maybe not, but yeah. And then another evil presents itself, and then they deal with that together
Well, and
as a family.
we need to figure out what happens with the clone army at large.
Right.
Yeah, that's a big question mark at the moment.
And we haven't talked about it really since episode 1,
True.
but we speculated that the Kaminoans might have a card to play here. The army of the Republic, once they are phased out, might be. Masha agrees.
Said, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we could have kind of the first salvo of the Civil War between clones and stormtroopers, and that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. So like, yeah. I mean, like, do all the clones just slowly die off, or do they all rebel, or is it like a mixture of all the above?
Oh, I don't think they're going to slowly die off. I think they're going to die off pretty quick.
Ooh, you think they're just gonna be killed?
Yikes.
Like,
That's my guess.
oof,
That
that's gonna be dark as hell.
once,
Just
once the
put it
Empire
into a
says
big
they're
Clone Wars blender.
Well, yeah, exactly. Once the Empire decides that the clones are not useful anymore, which Tarkin has already basically reached that conclusion,
Right.
and the Bad Batch is further cementing that, it's not going to be great, and the Kaminoans are going to want to protect their operation. So whether it's an uprising or whether it's the Kaminoans leading the effort, I think that will explain why everything gets shut down
They're gonna start.
real quick and why they aren't
Making-
around by the time of A New Hope.
They're gonna
Yeah.
start making clone meat pies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Out of the pie shop.
Boom, boom.
Here's your musical reference of the day.
One and done.
Sweetie,
City on fire!
Camino on fire.
Camino on fire! Get out! Get out!
I would like to very much.
What else? I don't know. Did we miss anything? I feel like
I feel
there's
like we
probably
got it
more that
all.
we could talk about, but it was a relatively straightforward episode.
It was. It was, yeah.
And yeah, it made me excited about what is to come.
Well, and there is the outstanding debt to Sid, which she kind of showed. She displayed a bit of her
aggression.
edgier side. Like,
Mhm.
don't forget.
Like, don't get
that
on my bad side.
I do have a bad side.
Yeah.
And you guys owe me. You screwed up with the tactical droid.
Right.
So you got to pay me
Don't-
back soon, or else it's not going to
Yeah.
be pretty.
Don't fuck with me. Yeah, she's
So
well, and
we'll
she
see how-
obviously has like a lot of contacts, you know, and
Yeah.
contacts
Knows a
and
lot
some
of
not good
people.
bad
ones,
news.
I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not to be trifled with. So yeah, I wonder how they're gonna tie up that bow, or if they will at all. Like if she just turns completely bad news. Be fun. That'd be an interesting turn. I'd watch it and I'd like it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
I think that was it, honestly.
I guess that was it. What are you guys excited about in life?
In life?
Yeah.
Oh, broad.
wow, Daniel.
Do you have anything that you're excited about?
Oh, let me think. I am glad that it hasn't been overcast and gross the last couple of days.
Yeah, it's pretty gorgeous.
been hot.
It's been hot, but
Hot.
I like the heat.
Mhm.
If I can, periodically be inside with air conditioning.
Yeah.
But I enjoy the sunshine a lot, so it's been really nice to go for bike rides and runs when it's not like gross.
It is.
Yeah.
So nice.
I'm glad everything's, and it kind of has been, but I'm glad everything's open. And,
Tomorrow's the day.
Well,
Allegedly.
It's been the day for about
see,
but I mean, like,
Yeah,
it's
but
been open for a
things are
month.
open.
Yeah.
now.
Like,
But tomorrow,
at
I
this
mean, if you're
point,
wondering
I
what we're
feel
talking
like-
about, tomorrow is the official day for California to, like, quote unquote, reopen.
Yeah, I think we could have done this a couple months back, but
Probably.
Probably, yeah. But
But I'm glad everything's open. I've been watching like a lot of sports, and it's just I forgot how much I enjoyed hearing like the roar of full crowds and people enjoying themselves.
oh my gosh,
and
it was so bizarre last year. I mean, I'm really grateful that we still had baseball.
we
but,
figured out a
like,
way to do it. Yeah.
But
game.
it just was so weird, especially for, I mean, my team is the Dodgers, and so like we haven't won the World
She
Series.
owns the Dodgers. I don't know
I
if you
own
guys
them.
knew that. Yeah.
Haven't
why
won the
they're so
World Series
shady.
since 1988. So it was like weird to win it with only like a little bit of the stadium with
Yep.
actual people in it. And I was so sick of looking at those cardboard cutouts of people.
So dumb.
It was
I get it.
weird.
It was cute for like
it was
10
cute for
seconds,
like
but,
2
like,
games, and then you were like, I don't.
It's
I remember.
spooky.
I remember that we're
Yeah.
not there.
Right.
Yeah, you don't need to keep reminding
You're making
me.
it worse.
You're making it worse.
That's why if like
Like,
anybody
we're in the
writes
upside
like
down.
movies about or TV shows about quarantine or the pandemic,
skip
I'm like,
it.
no,
Just skip it.
don't do it.
It didn't happen. Skip
Yeah.
it.
I saw this timeline. Y'all might have seen it floating around, but it's like, 2018, 2019, and then it gets 2020, and it's just a big circle, and then it goes right back to the regular timeline. I'm like, yeah, that feels real.
It was a
Feels
Nexus
very
event. We
real.
had a Nexus event.
We did have a
Truly.
Nexus event. Oh, and speaking of Nexus events, stay tuned. If you guys didn't hear our first episode, we are also going over the Loki series. So you should tune
Yep.
in to
Well,
that on
you'll have
Fridays.
episode 2. We'll have it to you on Friday, but if you're of the stay up late to watch it Friday, Wednesday night at midnight,
Yeah.
or Tuesday night, excuse me, Tuesday night.
Tuesday
Yeah.
midnight.
Tomorrow
It's
night.
tomorrow
It's tomorrow
night.
night.
Whoa, that week kind of went fast.
It went very fast.
They're going very fast now. We are
It's nice that we have so
over
much
halfway
content.
through. We are now officially over halfway through 2021.
Oh,
Oh my god.
So
that is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is extremely weird.
Yeah, so lots of like, things to be excited for and hopeful for.
I'm so excited.
And that's all I got.
yeah, all right.
All right, great. Well, thanks so much for joining us on this Bad Batch Jenny. I hadn't done it a whole episode, so I had to add one more at the very end.
The big beach.
The bad bitch Jenny. And I'm Alyssa Simmons.
We're not allowed in that country ever.
No, absolutely not.
I'm glad I already got my trip in. Then I went there. I don't need to go back.
And
Need to go.
I am also Alyssa Simmons. No, I'm Daniel Dawson.
Great.
I'm Dino Nicandros.
May the force be with you.
Always.